Hey everybody, let's jump right into this thing, More 365. Today's word is research. This week our focus is actually on planning and preparing for 2019. We started off Monday talking about mission, vision, and values. And keep in mind, again, we didn't talk much about vision because we will cover that on Saturday. So today we are going to talk about research. So I mentioned to you guys in Monday's video, hey there, Tomiko. I hope that all is well. I hope that everybody had a great holiday and you really got to enjoy your time off. Also, shalom, Dedra. Hello, Lawanda. Thank you guys for joining me. And so, let me say this as well. Thank you to everybody. I really appreciate you guys shooting me messages to let me know where you guys are in the process of planning, to let me know what you guys are doing in relation to your 2019 goals. I really love hearing your progress. I love to hear that you guys are taking action. I prefer to get those types of inboxes all day long. So thank you to everybody that has been sharing your progress, to those of you that have started your LLCs, those of you that have submitted for your 501c3s. I am getting so many texts and emails, and they do my heart well to know that these videos aren't just being wasted and I'm not just talking for the sake of talking, but you guys are actually taking the tools that I give you and you're implementing them every day to achieve success and to operate and live holistically in the promises of God. And so with that being said, we're going to dive right back into the strategic planning process. Again, on Monday, we covered mission, vision, and values. We will talk more about vision on Saturday because we have a vision board party, and I will be teaching on vision before that vision board party actually kicks off. With that being said, tonight we're going to talk about research, and then tomorrow we will talk about the actual planning process, and then we will wrap up talking about the implementation process and the action items that are necessary for you guys to achieve success. I don't make the strategic, when I work with teams on strategic planning, when I go into organizations and I do strategic planning and I facilitate those meetings, I don't make this a long, arduous process. Again, it just depends on the size and depth and scope of your organization as to how in-depth the strategic planning process is. But there are just about three steps. And then the fourth one is just the action, and then the assessment of the actions that you're taking, and just regrouping and, making sure that everything is working and not just sticking to the same thing and it's just falling apart. With that being said, let's talk today about research. What is research and why is research important? Research is careful and diligent searching. It's a studious inquiry or examination. It means to seek. It's the collecting of information about a particular subject. So why do I always make research a part of the strategic planning process? Mainly because, let me say this, one of the things that you have to be mindful of is a lot of times, because we are building businesses, we're building infrastructure based upon our limited understanding. We're building businesses, infrastructure, we're building products and services based upon our reference point of our relationships. We're building them based upon our past and what we know. And so a lot of times, if you want to, and actually if you do desire to be innovative, if you desire to see things from a different perspective, one of the things that I train on, I really go into detail in the creativity training. I really talk in detail how this works and how this brings about revelation. And so even as we talk about research, I'm talking about, going in and actually from a standpoint of understanding the Bible and how it's applicable to what you're building. Also going in whatever industry that you're in, understanding that industry, understanding how this industry impacts other industries, understanding how the consumers are impacted by what it is that you're doing. And so with that being said, one of the things that I always challenge people before they dive into the strategic planning process, a lot of people do it at the end. You can definitely do that assessment at the end based upon a decision or conclusion that you've made. But one of the things that I always challenge people to do on the front end of the strategic planning process is to really sit down and look at the strengths of what it is that they are doing, the mission that they are on. Look at the strengths of what the products and services that they are going to employ. Look at the strengths, the opportunities, the weaknesses, and the threats, okay? Do a SWOT analysis on the front end before you begin the planning process, so that way you plan around the real opportunities that are available to you. You plan around your strengths. You plan around the weaknesses, and so you're able to really circumvent the barriers if you do that on the front end. Again, you can also conduct a SWOT analysis on the end to assess the decisions and conclusions that you've made, but I always challenge people to do a SWOT analysis on the front end before you begin your planning process, because a lot of times you're planning blind. A lot of times you're going in and you're building plans and you don't really have insight. You don't really have revelation about a matter. You don't really understand what you really have access to and the impact that is possible, because you don't really understand the market. You don't really understand your customers. You don't really understand even the products and services and really the needs that they meet, right? So with that being said, also one of the things that I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, and I'm going to leave you guys with this because research is so deep, it's so rich, but I challenge you guys to really do your homework before you launch into 2019. Really understand what it is that you're working with. Some of you need to reinvent the products and services that you have. Some of you need to reinvent and bring fresh new ideas into your business in order for it to be sustainable. And so I really challenge you to do your homework, not just in relation, again, to the industries that you serve, not just in relation to your current customers. And then let me say this, research also, you got to ask people questions, not just any and every. See, a lot of times we want to ask people that don't really have nothing to add. We want to ask our mom and them, our cousin them. They don't understand what we do. They've never seen anybody do it. They don't know what's going on. Sometimes you need to go ask your customers that continuously buy from you, why do you buy from me? And guess what? In their answer, you're going to find even more opportunities. Sometimes you got to go and ask people that work alongside your industry. Go ask vendors. Go ask them their thoughts on your products. Go ask your vendors their thoughts on your services. Go ask them, how can you better serve them? How can you better work with them? And one of the things that, I heard a friend say once before is that information actually triggers revelation. And she didn't say it like that, but that's just me, giving you guys my understanding of it. But with that being said, information ignites revelation. So I challenge you guys to do your homework before going into 2019, because a lot of you are struggling and you don't really understand the scope of what you have access to, simply because you won't do your homework. Okay? Do your homework, and not so that you can copy somebody else, not so that you can mimic somebody else, but do your homework with the intention of saying, you know what, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't really make sense, and I'm doing that. That looks stupid, like that, so that you can course correct as needed. Another thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand, and just as we begin to prep for the planning process, and a friend of mine brought this to mind. We had a real deep conversation on yesterday, just about hustling, right? This hustle mindset and how it has infiltrated, your entrepreneurial journey. At some point, as an entrepreneur, you have to go all in, okay? If you want to see success. See, the reason why you charge so little is because you aren't really running a business. You just got a side hustle. I'm just being real. The reason why you aren't charging as much as you possibly could is because this thing ain't real for you, right? As we go into planning for 2019, I don't want y'all to come into this thing planning, half cocked. I don't want y'all to come into this thing just kind of like, this is my side hustle, I'm gonna make a little bit of money. Like 2019, I want you to go into this thing planning as if this thing is going to set you free off your job. I want you to go into this thing planning saying, if I put maximum effort into this thing, if I really structure this thing as a business, how can I really live free in 2020 or 2020, whatever, 2021, whatever your goals are? I want you to plan in relation to, okay, I want this thing to really be a real business. I want to really be an entrepreneur, not just a hustler. See, most of us have been planning and building businesses around a side hustle. And as a result, you've been at this thing for 5-10 years and you still got a side hustle. Okay. You still trying to launch this thing. You 5 or 10 years in and you still trying to launch it because you never planned as if you were doing it so that you could catapult yourself into the next level of total entrepreneurship. And so with that being said, My challenge to all of you again, as we go into 2019, we are going in with a bigger vision. We're going in with massive plans. We're going in more strategically. We're going in with the mindset of not just creating a new business or, building a business, but we're going in with the mindset of becoming thought leaders in our respective industries. We're going in asking ourselves, how can I really truly contribute to the movement in the industry that I am in? How can I really truly ignite something new? How can I set a precedent in the industry that I am in? And the only way to do that is if you buy into this thing and you take ownership of this thing as if your very life depended on it. If you began to carry this vision as if you don't have another choice in the earth but to fulfill this thing, but to further this thing, but to birth this thing in its entirety, so that way you can live with greater levels of success. And so with that being said, guys, peace and blessings. Tomorrow we go all in talking about the planning process and what that really looks like. And then also, let me say this again, guys, keep sharing the testimonials about all the work that you're putting in. It's keeping me inspired. I'm really enjoying seeing you guys really take ownership of your visions in 2019. But I don't want you, again, because it's so easy to set up the infrastructure of a business just because somebody's telling you all this stuff to do. What I'm really challenging you to do is to really employ the full brevity of the vision as we go into 2019. Really set up, and we're going to talk about that planning process so that you can really in 2019 begin to hit some milestones, to set some goals that are going to set you up real straight like, and you're going to be looking back at 2018 unrecognizable. Again, also, I'm asking you guys and just kind of challenging you to shut it all down, right? Over the next couple of days as we prepare to go into all y'all that's watching, I can't remember the show that everybody keeps, Bird Box Foolishness, all y'all that's tuning into all of that. Ain't nobody got time for bird boxing, right? I'm trying to get outside the box. I'm trying to break free of the bonds, okay? I'm trying to do something. Y'all up here watching Bird Box. I'm trying to get out the box. Like, I'm challenging everybody to really get serious about these next couple of days and stay up late if you have to. Stay up into the wee hours of the morning and produce this thing. But this is our birthing season, because everything that you will birth in 2018, 2019, you will see acceleration on it. So get serious about this thing. Spend these next couple of days going in and giving this thing everything you got. Lorinda, Lorinda, I'm not going to play with you. I'm going to go. With that being said, we got 3 more days that we're going to talk about the strategic planning. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the actual planning process. Number 2, we're going to talk about on Friday, we're going to talk about the action items, the implementation of the plan, and what that process looks like after you've begun implementation. We're going to talk some real stuff. No hype, no extraness, no fluff here, right? We get straight to the point. We're trying to help people do stuff for real. We don't got time to talk about your past, all the drama you've been through. We talking about what we're building in the future, right? We're very focused, and that's how we're going into 2019. And then on Saturday, we're going to backtrack a little bit, and we're going to talk about real vision. We're going to talk about a vision that's sustainable. We're going to talk about a vision that inspires and ignites vision in others. We're going to talk about a vision that others will grab hold to, and they will run with it, and they will try to outrun you because that thing's so real, right? That's the kind of vision we're going to talk about on Saturday. So if you're registered for the vision planning, the vision board party, I will see you guys on Saturday. I'm going to be teaching on vision on the front end of that. And then Cheryl will walk you guys through the vision board process. With that being said, get ready, because it is going to be on. Keep sharing your stories with me. Keep letting me know what you guys are doing, how you're utilizing the information that I'm sharing. I really, really appreciate it, and it's keeping me full, and it's keeping me on fire, and it reminds me why I am okay with committing to this 365 days, because it is critical for all of us. And so stay tuned, because in January, we will talk about, a lot of people go into it talking about new you, new life, all this, that, and the other. Now we're going to get the life that you got snatched, okay? We're going to really deal with you, okay? In January, it's going to be all focused on you and getting your life right. Then in February, we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about the full brevity of relationship. And I guess there's just so much that I have to share with you guys, and I'm really excited. We still got a lot of days left. We're at this thing for 365 days straight, and I do hope that you guys will take this journey with me, and you'll grow with me. We'll learn together, and holistically, body, soul, and spirit, okay? Peace and blessings, guys. Y'all have a crazy, amazing night. And I will see y'all tomorrow again, 7:30 p.m. All right, bye, guys.